Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am absolutely pumped to be your guide today because we are going to unpack what is arguably one of the most staggering financial and operational shifts in the entire history of software development. If you've been watching the tech space over the last 5 years, you know things are moving at warp speed. But today, we're going to pin that down. We are putting hard numbers, real hours, and a very concrete case study on exactly what has changed between 2021 and today. We're talking about a complete, industry-shaking transformation in how software is actually built, paid for, and deployed. Okay, let's dive into this, because this question right here, it's the ultimate mystery for so many business leaders and entrepreneurs. How much does custom software actually cost? You know, the answer to this used to be this heavily guarded industry secret that depended on a million different variables. But to truly grasp the revolution happening around us right now, we first have to uncover how this exact mystery was solved just a few short years ago. To do that, we need to time travel back to the ancient history of, well, 2021. Let's look at a specific case study. Imagine a serious, enterprise-grade custom event registration and management platform. Now, I want to be really clear here. We are deliberately ignoring today's AI-assisted development for just a minute. We are imagining a world where a massive corporation or an event producer walks into a dev agency and says, "Build us a custom platform from scratch." We're not talking about a basic web form here. This is a real, dense software product. Just think about the foundational features you'd need to pull this off. You need public registration for walk-ins, sure, but also private, VIP, and invitation-only flows. You've got multiple participant types, attendees, artists, exhibitors, media, and they all need totally different experiences. You need custom conditional logic so specific waivers pop up depending on who's signing up. You need a rock-solid system for image and file uploads. And underneath all of this, a massive database tracking every single venue, session, and sponsor. And man, behind the scenes, it gets exponentially more complex. The admin team needs robust workflow dashboards to manage waitlists and approvals. The system has to spin up dynamic QR codes for check-in. It needs automated email and SMS integrations for follow-ups. You'd want a database-driven chatbot so attendees can ask, "Hey, where is Exhibitor 27?" You might even be wrangling API integrations for augmented reality experiences. This was an absolute beast of an architecture. Now, take a look at the actual hours to build this in 2021. Staggering, right? Just mapping out the discovery and UX chewed up hundreds of hours. And those registration workflows, you're looking at up to 250 hours of pure manual human labor. Add in your database mapping, testing, and deployment, and you're budgeting roughly 2,000 to 2,400 hours. Just to put that into perspective for you, that is literally more than a full year of 40-hour work weeks for a single developer. Section 1, the 2021 price tag. Calculating the cost of custom code. All right, we have our hours. So let's translate all that agonizing time into some cold, hard financial realities. So $140,000, that was your absolute rock bottom baseline anchor price for 2021. If you hired a fully offshore or low-cost dev team paying roughly $60 an hour, this is what you paid. And honestly, trying to manage a completely offshore team comes with a mountain of its own headaches, especially when it comes to communication and project management overhead. Now, let's say you wanted a US-based freelance team or a small agency. You were dropping about $150 an hour. That brings our primary anchor right up to $350,000. And the crazy thing, in 2021, nobody batted an eye at this. It was a completely reasonable standard valuation for a production-ready system of this scale. But wait, what if this was commissioned by a massive trade show operator or a huge museum, and they took it to a top-tier software agency in New York or San Francisco? Yeah, they would easily be paying $225 or more per hour, and that's before the agency tacks on their artisan coffee budget. You are looking at a price tag well over $500,000. $500,000 just for the first polished version of an app. And beyond the money, there was the agony of time. You couldn't just throw cash at this to magically make it go faster. Month 1 was purely architecture. You literally wouldn't even see a dashboard or a QR code until month 4 or 5. By the time you cleared security testing and agency approvals, you were agonizingly waiting 9 to 12 months just to launch the thing. So the crucial point is, the technology itself wasn't the limitation 5 years ago. Think about it. Everything we just listed, databases, user auth, file storage, SMS, it all existed in 2021. The impossibly expensive bottleneck was that you had to pay human beings to manually architect, code, and connect every single piece of that puzzle from absolute scratch.
Section 2, the chatbot evolution, from rigid queries to AI synthesis.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact difference. On the left, you've got the 2021 chatbot. The user asks, "Where's the VIP for reception?" And the bot rigidly spits back, "Gallery A, 7 p.m." I mean, it worked, but it was just querying structured info from a rigid database table. But look at the right side. Today, a user types, "Hey, I'm running late, I'm coming with 2 guests, where do I park, and can I still get in?" A 2021 bot would completely melt down trying to process that. But today's AI, it doesn't just query, it synthesizes all that messy, multi-part context to give a genuinely human-like, useful response. Section 3, the modern AI approach. The power of assembly. Welcome to 2026, where the barrier to entry hasn't just lowered, it has completely collapsed. We are absolutely no longer in the era of building from scratch. We are in the era of assembly. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the modern tech stack fundamentally operates today. We do not pay a developer to write a custom authentication system anymore. We just plug in an existing auth service. Need a database? Don't build it from scratch. Just spin up Postgres or Superbase. You plug in cloud storage, hook up QR APIs, drop in an OpenAI chatbot. We rely almost entirely on existing modular services, and we use AI as the superglue to wire the whole shebang together in record time. This right here is the fundamental paradigm shift you need to take away from this explainer. Back in 2021, the mindset was, let's hire developers to build a platform. Today, the mindset is a total 180. Let's assemble a platform and just use AI to build the custom pieces. And because of that shift, get ready for the massive narrative twist. Remember that $350,000 anchor price? Today, using heavy AI assistance and an assembly-first approach, a smart little team can get a genuinely solid minimum viable product out the door for roughly $75,000. Yeah, 75K. I really want this quote to sink in for those of you out there managing budgets or dreaming up a startup. We are talking about a potential 5 to 10 times difference in development cost, especially when you're just trying to prove out a concept with an MVP. This literally rewrites the entire calculus of risk. Ideas that were way too financially impossible to test 5 years ago, they are completely within reach today. You can launch faster, pivot quicker, and do it for an absolute fraction of the historical cost. The tools are out there, guys. That insanely expensive, specialized labor bottleneck from 2021 has been completely bypassed by AI and modular services. Honestly, the only limitation left is your own imagination. So I'll leave you with this. With the barriers to entry completely shattered, what will you assemble today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I will catch you next time.